got 11 practices under your belt now. How much have you learned about your quarterbacks, especially since the last time we talked? You just haven't been able to see them.
Yeah, no, they're doing good. Taking care of the ball better, which is, I thought we were loose with the ball earlier, quarterbacks. Today we had an interception in the red zone. We're getting more work in the red zone, which will help us in the tight windows and third downs and things like that. So, but Casey's done well. Logan's done. Chuba's worked a little bit more, so that's good to see him. Young guys are coming, so a bunch of really good kids that like the game and fun to be around.
The way that Chuba's been limited so far, like what can you really get out of this spring?
Well, no, he's had last week a bunch of skelly reps, 7-on-7. Then today he got some team reps, and he's getting a lot of mental reps, so it's better that way functioning. So he's been fine. Okay. What's that? Well, I think it's one thing, but the way, everybody's competing, but I think they're helping one another out. It's a good room. That's important. They're helping one another out. You miss something talking about it. There's guys that are talking a lot in the meetings and on the field. So, there's not anybody. There's not any animosity in the group. So they're all trying to get better at different levels and trying to build a library for each of them so that we come back, I can go over with it, before we get to summer. But they'll study all their plays that they've had.
Hey, we were talking about tight ends today. How would you describe your offense for a tight end? Like, what do you like to use those guys to do? How do you like to utilize them?
Well, we got some good guys. Travis hasn't practiced. He's done stuff on air, but when I was at UMass and we had Adam Brenneman who transferred from Penn State, I think he led the country at 146 catches in 2 years. And last year, Lucas Kroll was healthy. We lost like 3 tight ends the year before, so we had to go a lot more 4 wide. But I think he had 50 catches, and the young kid, Gavin Bartholomew, maybe had 25. But we have capable guys there. And the younger guys are really getting better, understanding the scheme. So I don't have a number. The ball's predicated, goes to, what the defense is giving you. Certainly we can get guys in certain areas. I think the size of those guys can help you in the red zone. That would be a place where, we're 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" down there where the windows are tighter and you got to be physical and catching the ball. And the speed's not as important as is, learning, about leverage on the defenders and those things. So we had sessions Monday. We did a little bit more today. We'll do a little bit more Friday in the red zone. But I see those guys being somewhat of a factor down there.
What makes it, maybe this is an obvious question, but what makes a good red zone offense an effective one that actually scores touchdowns?
It's always you can run the ball because, they've got an extra guy with the end line in the red zone that, where the safeties are tight and you can't unless you're running some option, the safety's going to be unaccounted for, the quarterback. Now, when you run option, that becomes a little bit some things with the quarterback, but it's just a mix that way. But I think our backs, have gotten better. We're a little more physical than we've done. Coach early in the year, Coach Applewhite's done a really good job with those guys with pad level. All of them are running a little bit lower, a little bit more balance and playing for the extra yard. And we did have a fumble in the scrimmage last week, but it's really the only one we've had, I think, in a lot of tough sessions in there where there's thud, there's tough thud, there's live. So I think we've done a good job securing the ball with those guys.
Is it frustrating for you trying to install an offense and have so many, potential starters not be out there with guys? I know they're on the field listening and watching, but what's not
as frustrating as if we didn't have those guys. They're going to be back. We know they're good players, so to me it's a positive. I just try to be positive with it. We're building depth, and so the more guys that we have, we're going to get guys hurt, and we've tried to say this. I think the one positive about Nebraska is we're running 2 thuds. We're running 2 skellies. We have enough players here. We have enough with the walk-ons and those guys that a lot of guys are getting reps. So they're getting better, and that builds your depth. We didn't have that at places I've been. Certainly UMass, Pitt, even, that way. We didn't have that at Miami. We didn't have enough guys when I was there. So that's really helped. And I told those guys, I said, just you're really lucky to be here, and with a chance to get on film and get better. So I think our depth has grown, and we know we'll get those guys back come the summer.
Hey, Mark, in particular at tight end, how has
What's that?
In particular at tight end, how has the absence of some of you mentioned Travis, but how has the absence of some of the other guys impacted what you've been able to install? What you've been able to figure
No, I
out?
mean, it's the same. Those guys are getting reps. So as I said, the younger guys they move up, the next guy's got to be ready. So we're not really I'm not game planning. We're just trying to install a bunch of plays and things that way. Then we build a library similar to what we've done in the NFL. So that those guys can go back, and when they're throwing on their own, they know what this term means, what this concept. So we're giving them a lot of different concepts, and we'll continue to do that on Friday and next week on Monday.
What's the for the quarterbacks? What's the importance of that Saturday spring game being in the stadium? Fans, is it another practice? Less important, more important? How do you see that?
Yeah, I don't. The way spring games have gone now, you want to get out. In my mind, we want to get out of it healthy. It's like, is that going to make the difference? I don't. It does on some guys. I think it's more for the younger guys that haven't got as many reps. I don't really know how we're going to do the spring game. We haven't even talked about it. But it's not. I mean, it's not. I don't see it. Casey Thompson's played against Oklahoma. He's played against those. Some of the young guys, maybe, but just not like it used to be in the old days where you were 15 full pad days, and that was. I mean, you pretty much know. Now there's some guys that can make headway there that they play well, and some guys they play really bad, but there's a bunch of tape that we've had. So I don't know how we're going about it. So I'm really worried about cleaning up today's practice and getting ready for Friday.
As you've got to know Logan Smothers, what does he do well, and where would you like to see him make strides?
He's a good athlete, and I think he's done a really good job of handling the offense. I think the fundamentals will work, getting him deeper in his drops. We talked about it. He's working on that. His progressions have been better, like a new deal that way. He's smart. Like today, he threw an interception, and right away he knew I got to throw it here. So when you make a mistake and then you don't know why you made a mistake, that's what concerns you. But he knows that way, and he's done a good job in the scrimmages that we've had. He's gotten a lot of reps, and I've been pleased with him. He's done a good job.
Obviously, that your wide receivers group come along. Obviously, Xavier's departure. Those other guys, where have they made strides? Who's maybe stood up?
No, they've done a really good job. I think we got a good leadership. Some of the older guys, and Alante, we moved him, and we've taken some of the guys and moved them to different positions, so that gives you more depth also. So Alante's able to play two positions. Trey has been inside, but we'll let him play some outside stuff as we go. Oliver's done a good job. Omar's done a good job. All those younger guys, we've gone to some 4 wide packages, and that's given some guys some new opportunities. And just those guys have run a lot, and early on there was some little things that way, but I really like where we're going. We've got a deep room there, and they're getting better every day.
Which receivers do you feel like are the kind of the take the top off guys? Do you have a sense of who those might be?
Yeah, I mean, Trey's the fastest guy, and Omar and has done good things. Oliver's done some good things. Alante's, they've all done, those guys I mentioned. So we'll move them around, which we've always done that way. I think we've gone a little bit more of a pro system, meaning that instead of keeping guys on the same side, we're moving them left and right, and we're moving them that way. And I think they've done a good job of learning concepts and then learning how we get the plays in that way. So that's been a smoother transition for those receivers than it was like the first week, or everybody was kind of worried about it. It's gone without any issues in the 2 scrimmages. Matter of fact, the second scrimmage was much more, just a little cleaner and everything else, and I expect the same thing when we get into camp will be the same way.
Mark, you're a couple weeks into this thing. What's the best thing you've seen? What's the worst thing you've seen that you feel like you
I don't think there's anything really bad besides some guys getting hurt. That's the worst part about the game. you don't want to see anybody get hurt. You got to play physical and tough. And the best thing is these kids are fun. They come to work every day. They fought through. Monday was a tough day, and you kind of, when you look at the schedule, you say, hey, you had a scrimmage, and then we had a practice on Thursday. We scrimmaged, and we went, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Got to come right back on Monday. Six days and 7 with full pads. But I thought they did a really good job that way. But they're fun to be around. We had a walkthrough in here, which was something new that before the scrimmage. I thought there was a air of confidence, but a business-like attitude, which is what you want. You don't want them all being uptight. So I that way. And we've had good battles with the defense. What I've always learned in spring practice, that if one side is dominating the other, you probably don't have a good team. But I believe we have a good team because defense has made plays, offense has bounced back, handled adversity. So it's a fun group to be around.
Mark, you feel like the teaching has slowed down a little bit at this point in the spring?
No, I wouldn't say that. We got more things to give them. We'd like to at least get it on tape so that they say, okay, this is what it is. So we had about 4 or 5 new things. There'll be, probably same thing on for Friday, and then a few more on Monday when we come back. So as I said, I think it's just important for those guys. You'd like to get 2 days of those things because they see it, and then they run it, they rep it, and then they see it on tape, and then they can fix it. I said, like Alante, we've moved positions for him. His first day wasn't rough, but not as clean. Today I could just see it snapped through, so that's what building depth is what we're trying to do.
Hey, you added your son to quality control operation. Scott did. Are you excited for that, to have him?
Yeah, he was in that role at Pittsburgh, so he knows the offense. He's been really and he played quarterback in a system at UMass and played under Billy O'Brien at Penn State. So we have 8 quarterbacks now. So he does a really good job of handling the other things. He knows the progressions. He knows the footwork, all those things. It's a good buffer. Sometimes I can be uncomfortable, where he's a good, he'll grab the guy on the side if I get after somebody, and so it's a good thing that way. He knows things, and so it's been nice for the quarterbacks and nice for me, huh?
You guys have 8 quarterbacks.
Yeah, we had 7. They did the same. We had 7 at Pitt.
You like that? I mean, you like having all those guys?
Well, you try to get them reps, but they don't get as many. But there's more mental reps, so you got somebody with a sheet on a sideline, and here's what he should be doing in that way. And I said we have a really good room. They're all really good kids. They got some talent, and they're having fun, and that's what's important.
Look, Beckton said over there, Sean said the running game has been one thing that's been consistent all spring. How would you characterize it? What, from your vantage point, what have you seen?
Well, I think Donnie and Beck and Aaron, are the assistant to Donnie, they've done a really good job instilling confidence in those guys up front that we're going to run the ball, that I always want to be balanced. Might not be yards wise, but plays and everything else, and one fits off the other. So I think those guys have done a really good job, and I lean on those guys for what they like, and then obviously Coach Frost brings a lot to the table that way. So we're mixing. I think that marriage has gone really well. I think it's a lot of good things. There were a lot of concepts, and those guys, I can just see their confidence growing, and I think that's a tribute to Donnie and Aaron and Beck.
Thank you.
Good.